Hello and welcome people back to more of Folklore. Now we are going to do the prologue with Keats. He's totally an 11 out of 7. Best husbando material ever. Just saying.
I thought the best husbando material for you was Yuri from Shadowheart.
Top 3. All on the same place for some reason.
Is it you, Mother? I wanted so very much to see you. It was very hard without you. I was so young. But that doesn't matter anymore. Why won't you answer me?
Excuse me.
What?
Are you the one who telephoned me?
Huh? Who are you? Why would I?
Perhaps not. What about the lady over there?
Mother!
Hey, no, don't touch. She's dead. We gotta call the police.
Let me go! Mother! Oh my God! Someone! Someone, please!
A murder in the village of the dead. Tell me this is a joke.
So yeah, now we will be in control of Keats and we actually start off at a different spot. Which I always found that to be a pretty funny sort of shtick, where you just begin at the exact same point with both characters, but because Ellen run off all the way there, you just start off right here with her.
Oh wait.
And yeah, that's kind of how he is in a lot of situations. He's the one to stay and think about things and examine from afar, which is what makes his playthrough so much different, actually. And yeah, this is an example of how his side is also slightly different. This happens after Ellen is already unconscious, and we get a lot more information about this character.
Right.
And also this will explain how Ellen even got into her hut.
I figured Scarecrow just kind of carried her there. You have a couch though.
That's good enough. That's more or less how I live.
Right. Literally out of this world.
So yeah, he does pretty much live in a dump. But he does have electricity in it, which is weird.
How do you get electricity in a hole in the ground?
It does seem like a basement of some place that just fell down or whatever. Or like a magazine, maybe.
Maybe. maybe he's just bumming electricity off the pub.
That's possible. Another visitor. Yeah, so he is in fact coming after Ellen.
Yeah. There's just something about a dead person saying that.
Yes. About a floating fat lady saying that occult magazine is nonsense.
Right.
Yeah, some of them actually have slightly different texts for both characters, and that is actually going to be a recurring feature throughout the entire game. There are some things that some people are not going to want to say towards Ellen that they will say towards Keats, and the other way around.
You know, I said Ellen was taking all this in stride. No, Keats is fucking taking it in stride. Look at him.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking it in stride. Ellen is just frightened.
He's like, yeah, dead people, whatever.
I mean, he is a journalist for an occult magazine, so he's just
expected
whatever.
this. It's funny because she's fat.
And she has a tiny hedgehog.
Yep. I thought she said she was a banshee. What?
I mean, I guess that's just her title.
But,
You know, like Ellen's a human, then she's a banshee. Ellen's a woman with a constant face of, oh god, I dropped a bucket. And she is a crier of the night.
yeah.
And that thing he has is actually a pipe. I didn't notice it before.
Yeah.
I thought he was just gnawing on his nails.
You know, I was gonna ask what the point of a dead person smoking is, but then I got to thinking, well, you literally have nothing to lose in that case.
Yeah.
You know, I swear I've seen pictures of Invisible Man floating around before.
There was nothing there.
But the occult, that's legit.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. Keats is, as you see, he's a realist.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ironic considering he is a journalist for an occult magazine.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe the shit he writes, or rather, he can't prove that anything he writes is wrong, or is right, or rather, he can't write anything. Which actually, I think that's actually the third option. He really can't find anything that could not be proven wrong. Which is why he's so skeptical towards everything he says he sees here.
So he is lagging behind.
I do love how they basically show you what he's doing with his hand just by adding the freaking book.
Right.
And I'm again just playing around with the footsteps because that's just such a nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's also a nice touch because this is the only reason why he's here.
Well,
To be
yeah.
honest, he doesn't really care much for the woman who got murdered or was getting attacked by the fairies. He was just really looking for a story. As you see here, all I want is a good story.
Yep. That's good luck getting anyone to believe all this.
That is what we've seen in that Sailor Moon cutscene.
Mm-hmm. All you need to do is secretly be in the back when she's transforming, and you can siphon her energy.
That's exactly what is going to happen.
Well, this is interesting. What's happening to that girl?
By absorbing the power of the Cloak of Thee, she has become a traveler of the Netherworld. You also hold the same power.
The land of the dead? Not interested. I prefer, well, something more substantial. In fact, I'm amazed I can even see you. Even the pain feels real. This is certainly a lucid dream.
As you wished, you have attained the powers of a netherworld traveler. Now go and take her from this place, lest she bring disaster to the netherworld.
But what powers can she possibly have to cause disaster there? She only went to search for her mother.
The portal to the netherworld lies beyond here. Go and see for yourself.
Dude, he totally hulked out there.
Yeah, totally. Too bad that well, you'll see it in a second, but it's not exactly the form he's going to be using all the time when he's in the Nether Realm.
Aww.
Which made me eternally sad. Yeah. He just travels around normally.
that's a shame.
I mean, I was kind of just hoping he would take his share over or something.
I like that logic there. Well, I know this ain't a dream now. I ain't that good.
I don't have enough of an imagination for something like this.
The level of magnetism is extremely high.
No, the residue of magnetism is unusually high. In any case, that is... like, normally... putting something out there like that where this is just so awesome, I wouldn't have the imagination for that. To be honest, like them patting themselves on the back, that's justified in this regard.
Pretty much.
Because it does look really, really pretty. And they love their...
Forks.
Yes. Forks.
That said, be careful of forks too, man. Those things will destroy you.
Yes, and here I noticed something that I haven't noticed before. When you stand around, the butterflies are going to start attacking you.
Huh. Why do they hate you so much?
I don't know. But that's really cute, either way. Like you see here, that the shadow, like what I mentioned before about the shadows, here it's very long. Whereas at the end of the level, it was like like right next to your feet.
Yeah.
And it reacts to the grass in somewhat weird ways at places, but it still does.
Like Priets, or a medium in your tongue.
Despite the danger of losing their souls. What did you say? Nothing.
Tell us about forks.
They come in many variations. One of them is also called spork. We don't like that one.
No one talks about that one.
Straight out of a fairy tale.
Beware!
Such nonchalant.
He's like, alright, whatever.
Like he even holds his hand in his pocket. Now the interesting part about that, how it is different from Ellen, is that for Ellen, most of the things are actually done with her cloak. When it comes to Keats, everything is basically done with his own body. Like you see here, there is a very slight, yet there is still a difference when it comes to how he attacks. He does much bigger swings. But it will become a lot more apparent with the later folks that we get. And also, one other thing should be noted, the folks that you get for both Ellen and Keats vary. Like, for example, here, Ellen was able to get her first water folk. However, for Keats, he is nowhere here to be found.
Oh.
And also, there is another difference. You can see a small bar under the magic bar. it is your stud muffin mode bar.
What?
You get to actually turn into the you know, the form that they showed you at the
Infraggable Crunk. Good.
yeah, exactly. Thankfully it loads pretty fast, but I don't get to use it in the very first section.
See.
I should also note that the invincibility frames in this game are a little bit all over the place. It's like when you're in the middle of absorbing a folk, you're completely invulnerable.
Nice.
Also, so it's actually you can actually take advantage of that at a lot of occasions. Also, for the whole duration of doing a dodge, you seem to be invulnerable.
Speaking of absorbing ids, I noticed that with Ellen, whenever she absorbs one, she just kind of like clutches it to her, whereas with Keats, he like reels them in.
Yeah, they have very like a lot of touches like that, which make them very unique. It should be noted that, yeah, like I said, Keats has his ability basically planted inside his body, whereas Alan literally wears it like a cloak. And here,
Yep.
because I waited for too long, that one guy I wasn't able to get. And
Ouch.
there is also one very important thing. Whenever Keats absorbs a folk, he will do a little whistle. That's
Nice.
very important. Not at all, but it's still nice. Yeah, he doesn't say anything else.
Okay, well that elaborates more on this then, at least. Frickin'. It would be weird if this whole game like happened in the span of an hour.
Exactly. Yeah, and the whole rest is just DLC.
Totally.
Yeah, to be fair, like the whole game isn't too long. You can beat it. You can beat it in like less than 10 hours, not counting the side quests. And you really don't need to do any side quests in order to beat it. But with nowadays how much it costs, I totally recommend it. Anyway, like if this looks interesting to you, please do check it out. It is one of the finest games on the system, at least in my opinion.
Liking what I see so far, so I'll definitely put it on my list.
It's kind of a shame that you can't get it on the PSN, but it's yeah, like the copies aren't too hard to come by. And this time that's another interesting thing. He doesn't get too close, so the cutscene triggers much further away.
Yeah. He was secretly just in the background the whole time.
Exactly.
And then it gets emotional. Just not in
But
the way you would
not
expect.
in, yeah, exactly. But yeah, you can see why I chose to play the Ellen chapter first, and then
Yeah.
Keats chapter. Everything just happens slightly later.
Yeah.
It's different for the rest of the chapters, but I will just keep that order anyway. I still can't hit that.
I'm sorry, but I love that she gets attacked. Her powers and/or Scarecrow teleport her back to the living world, and then this guy just kind of walks up to her attacker and goes, "Yo, what's up?"
I mean, he doesn't even attack her. That's another thing that's really nice about it. He never really gets too emotional about anything. Just like a reporter. He just wants to get as much information as possible. Which you could even consider that the Ellen chapters are like the base version, and the Keats chapters are kind of like the director's cut.
Yeah. Dead people suck. Clearly, Keats has played every survival horror game ever made.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really trust any zombies. Or people just going into the way of being a zombie.
Pretty much.
That's never a good sign.
Ever.
You just should cut all ties with them. Unfriend them on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just get kicked out. Because the night has ended.
Clearly he got drunk.
I mean, he is in the pub.
You must really love that book.
I wonder, like, if you get a closer look at it, if it even has anything written in it.
Now we don't need to say right.
By the power of Grayskull!
I couldn't help myself twice.
And yet you didn't use the fabulous transformations I gave.
It was too fabulous.
I can't handle that much fabulous.
No, too much.
Didn't even use the Galactic Freddy Boy.
Again, too fabulous.